Hey everyone, this is Dr. Nada, and today we're going to learn a serious lesson on space travel. Will people with pale skin get sick in space? But more specifically, what is the risk of skin cancer? It matters because it can cause problems, especially if left untreated. Not something we'd want cyberpunk edge runners Lucy to get. So what ultimately causes skin cancer, which can include basal cell carcinoma, squamous cell carcinoma, and melanoma, as you can appreciate on the pictures on the screen. It's mostly from too much radiation, like from the sun, so wear your sunblock. Radiation damages the DNA in your skin cells. Usually the cell's tools for bringing everything back to normal works, but sometimes it doesn't. Permanent alterations may not cause problems, but cancer can develop if you accumulate too many of them while sipping Mai Tais on the beach over a number of years. Cells start to grow atypically and start to look like this under the microscope, as I see as a pathologist. So as for radiation in space, I somewhat covered this topic on a prior video where I critiqued a Starfield survival mod's mechanic of having a user die within minutes of being on the Mars surface from radiation, which you can refer to on the screen and in the video description. While high doses of radiation can technically cause your face to melt because it kills the cells and prevents them from maintaining your all-important barrier, which would be unlikely for space travelers due to the lower doses, even small doses over an extended period of time can cause problems. That is why folks who are older are the ones who tend to develop skin cancer, because they accrue mutations in their skin over time that are not repaired. Fortunately, skin cancers are pretty treatable, with only a minority of people not responding to medical treatment. So do redheads with pale skin who get in a hot air balloon and suddenly lose all ballast have something to worry about? First off, pale skin does increase your risk of skin cancer because there's less melanin to absorb the UV rays instead of your DNA. So darker skinned folks like Barrett are a little bit better off in the dermatology department. Skin cancer is about 20 times more common in people with fair skin than dark skin. As for being an astronaut, there is an increased risk from that because you no longer have the magnetic field of the Earth and the atmosphere to help protect you from cosmic rays, meaning more hits your skin, which translates to about 24 times more exposure, or around 72 millisieverts over 6 months compared to 3 millisieverts. Models have predicted that this would mean that at least 1% of astronauts going on a Mars mission could be expected to develop skin cancer if light-skinned. Now, if we get away from those models and look at real-world data, the rate of melanoma in astronauts from 1959 to 2017 was a lot higher. So around 500 times higher in astronauts versus people who didn't quite have that opportunity. Melanoma is arguably the most aggressive form of skin cancer. So despite any arguments for shielding in spaceships or in the space station, astronauts have a pretty significantly increased risk of skin cancer and would warrant more frequent skin checks for any concerning lesions so they can be addressed earlier. As for how we could treat these folks, the mechanisms that would produce these skin cancers would likely not be very different from what would happen to people on Earth, assuming that they're not swimming in the corona of neutron stars and starting to introduce other forms of radiation. So for these folks, today's treatments would likely still work, with tomorrow's treatments hopefully offering even better efficacy. So let me know what you would do with this information. If you had the opportunity, would you still risk space travel knowing all of this? Let me know in the video comments, along with any other medical deep dives related to space or video games you'd like to learn more about. And I'd be happy to help out with my background as a physician and a genetics researcher. Thanks for watching, and Starship out.
You've got any last-minute business to attend to? Now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here. It's hard to know exactly what might sway them. I'd just be